understand why it's not announced and why it's not already made and written in a contract, but we'll see what happens over the next few weeks.
I just want to take an easy fight and beat me down. Step up. As Tyson said, sign the contract, big boy.
Не факт. Я думаю, что с Ильей будет намного тяжелее, чем с Мадалиной было.
You know, don't ever want to say a bad word about Justin Gaethje, like, he's a legend, but he's doing interviews lately being a proper you know what I mean, saying like the UFC owe him and he deserves it and all that. No one's owed nothing, you know what I mean, you fight for it.
What Islam have benefit of beating Ilia Topuria, right, is like almost not beating Dylan Dennis. It's like, because Ilia Topuria is one of the greatest fighters right now, honestly. He's so good, honestly. But in a way, you're gonna be in the cage 20 pounds less than Islam.
Paddy Pimblett has continued to mock lightweight champion Ilia Topuria for not yet accepting a fight with him. Paddy believes he is the perfect matchup for Ilia because of their old beef. However, Paddy Pimblett expressed frustration over the delay in announcing his fight with Ilia Topuria. He doesn't understand why the bout hasn't been finalized in a contract yet and is waiting to see what unfolds in the coming weeks.
You know, me and Topuria's got the storyline built in. It's all there. It's half nice for me that he won the belt, even though I don't like him. I'd rather him not be a 2-division champ. It's better for me that he won the belt, because if Charles would have won, then I definitely would have had to fight someone else first. You know what I mean? But with Ilia having the belt, it's just a storyline's already set up. It's all ready to go. Exactly. So I don't understand why it's not announced and why it's not already made and written in a contract, but we'll see what happens over the next few weeks.
Paddy Pimblett claims that Ilia Topuria has been delaying and avoiding signing their fight contract. He encouraged Topuria to accept the matchup, saying it would be an easy win if he thinks Paddy isn't on his level. Paddy added that the fight is probably next and called on Topuria to step up and finalize the contract.
Just want to get a fight on, lad. All Ilia's ever done is talk shit about me, saying I'm shit, saying I don't deserve to fight him. And after his last fight, I get in the cage and he pushes me. I think it's happening. And now all's amazing is he's stalling. He's not saying yes to the fight, he's stalling. If I'm not shit, lad, I just want to take an easy fight and beat me down. Step up. As Tyson said, sign the contract, big boy.
Paddy Pimblett also criticized Justin Gaethje for expecting a guaranteed title shot, calling his attitude unfair. He pointed out that his own recent win was more impressive against a higher-ranked fighter. Paddy also mentioned that his matchup with Topuria already has a strong storyline, and he was surprised that it hasn't been officially announced yet.
You know, don't ever want to say a bad word about Justin Gaethje, like, he's a legend, but he's doing interviews lately being a proper you know what I mean, saying like the UFC owe him and he deserves it and all that. No one's owed nothing, you know what I mean, you fight for it. And my last win, I beat someone in a better fashion who was a higher ranked opponent than he won in his last fight. So I know he's a legend and obviously he's done a lot for the company and all that, but you can't just demand a title shot. You know, me and Topuria's got the storyline built in. It's all there. It's half nice for me that he won the belt, even though I don't like him. I'd rather him not be a 2-division champ. It's better for me that he won the belt, because if Charles would have won, then I definitely would have had to fight someone else first. With Ilia having the belt, it's just a storyline's already set up. It's all ready to go. Exactly. So I don't understand why it's not announced and why it's not already made and written in a contract, but we'll see what happens over the next few weeks.
However, Ali Abdelaziz said he fully expects Justin Gaethje to walk away from the sport if Paddy Pimblett jumps ahead of him for a title shot. He mentioned that Gaethje has always followed through on what he says and wouldn't fight again in that situation. Ali admitted the UFC cares about star power, but questioned why Paddy should get the opportunity, noting that if the decision was based on performance, Arman Tsarukyan would be the rightful contender.
I'm telling you this, Justin Gaethje never break his word. If he get jumped by Paddy, he will retire and he will never fight again in the UFC. I truly believe that. I truly believe that. But you know, UFC is a business. Listen, Paddy Pimblett, I got nothing against the young man. He's great, he's entertaining. His last 3 opponents is 0-13. You know what I'm saying? How he be ahead in the ranking, Justin Gaethje ahead of him. Justin Gaethje give the UFC favorite after favorite after favorite. What Paddy Pimblett have done to the UFC to deserve a shot over Justin Gaethje? If it's pure entertainment, give it to him. But if it's pure merit, it's Justin Gaethje.
Did they try to make the Paddy Pimblett fight? Did they propose it to you guys?
I don't think anybody got proposed to do anything Listen, the only guy, if you get a title shot over Justin Gaethje, is Arman.
MMA Guru also questioned Justin Gaethje for not pushing to face Paddy Pimblett on the December card. He pointed out that Gaethje talked about retiring without a title shot, yet a championship opportunity doesn't seem close for him. Guru added that a December matchup with Pimblett would give fans a fun and high-energy fight.
Justin Gaethje, I'm looking at you, buddy. What are we doing? Gaethje, if you haven't got a fight with Paddy Pimblett booked for the December pay-per-view card, what are you actually doing? Like, I don't know what Gaethje's up to, but if he says if he doesn't get a title shot next, he's going to retire, I said this a couple of weeks ago, it's looking like Gaethje's going to retire then, because there ain't no title shot coming your way, buddy. Just hate to break it to you, man. So maybe we're going to get a Pimblett versus Gaethje in December. That would be amazing.
On the other hand, Carlos Prates challenged Islam Makhachev, saying he would be an easier opponent than Kamaru Usman. He pointed out that he is lighter and gets taken down more often, suggesting Islam could handle him without much trouble. Carlos Prates said, "I'm the easiest fight for Islam because Kamaru Usman, he's a badass. He's already damn good at wrestling. I'm the lightest guy. I get taken down the most. Come on, come fight me. It will be easy for you." However, Jorge Masvidal declared that out of all the welterweights, Shavkat Rakhmonov is the one fighter he can picture giving Islam Makhachev real problems. He explained that the division has plenty of talent, but Shavkat's size, pace, and balanced skill set make him stand out. Even after being sidelined, Masvidal still sees him as a major threat at 170 and thinks Shavkat should return against a top opponent like JDM, Gary, or Morales. In his mind, Shavkat is the only welterweight who has the tools to seriously challenge Islam.
I feel like either one of them right now could fight for the title. If it's Carlos, I'm happy. If it's Morales, I'm happy. You know, but we also got to add the monster at that weight class, the boogeyman, Shavkat. Shavkat is amazing, and that's the only guy actually that could beat Islam. That's the only guy that could beat Islam, and he's naturally bigger, great wrestler, has an endless tank of gas, and he's not bad on the feet. You know, he does eat some shots to give some shots, but he's not bad on the feet. And now that I think about it, I forgot completely about Shavkat. He's been injured for so long, but he's another one of my favorite welterweights. He could be another guy that could beat him all, man. Shavkat's really good, so maybe we get Shavkat versus Jack Magdalena, or Shavkat versus one of these guys, Carlos or Michael, whoever doesn't fight for the title, because we need to see Shavkat fighting for that title.
Meanwhile, Sean O'Malley considers a potential fight between Ilia Topuria and Islam Makhachev as one of the most technical matchups the sport could offer. He thinks Ilia needs one strong win to clear the path for it. O'Malley expects that matchup to be far tighter than Islam's fight with JDM and feels it's the bout the fans should be hoping for.
The next fight it's gotta be Ilia. Ilia's gotta go out there and beat Justin Gaethje. He's gotta go out there and beat Paddy. Whoever he beats, he's gotta go out there and get the job done. But Ilia, I'm so curious if Islam can do this to Ilia. Ilia, he matches that skill set, and I just feel like it would be a lot closer of a fight than Jack versus Islam was. That's the fight you have to make. That's the fight they should have made this time, but they didn't. But that's okay. Islam got the job done. Ilia, it's like even if he's going against Paddy, it's like I don't know who I got. I want to see Ilia win his next fight just so we can see Islam versus Ilia. That would be the biggest, most skillful fight of all time, and it would be honestly hard to beat.
However, Kamaru Usman thinks a fight between Islam Makhachev and Ilia Topuria at welterweight makes little sense for Islam. In his view, Ilia becoming champion at 170 doesn't seem realistic, so the matchup offers Islam no real benefit. Usman feels the only outcome for Islam would be unnecessary risk, and if he were to lose to a much smaller opponent, it would damage his reputation more than anything he could gain.
Do you foresee Ilia Topuria coming up to welterweight, potentially winning the title and staying and just defending against welterweights?
No.
No, we don't see that.
We don't.
You know, and he just growing into the lightweight division. And so we don't see that. Of course, it would be just for what? To make a humongous fight for the company, a big fight for the company. And yeah, but the thing is just for that. It's for the entertainment purpose of that fight happening. But in that case, what does Islam have to gain from that? Islam just put the work in and grew into this division and went out there and dominated the current champion. What does he gain from fighting Ilia Topuria, who was a featherweight, moved up to lightweight, and now moving up to welterweight? Really nothing to gain except all to lose. if something goes wrong and you lose, you lost to a featherweight.
Ali Abdelaziz also criticized Ilia Topuria for pushing for a fight with Islam Makhachev so aggressively. He pointed out that Ilia hasn't defended his belt yet. While Islam has already proven himself with several title defenses, Abdelaziz feels Islam has nothing to gain right now and notes Ilia would be much lighter in the cage. He thinks Ilia should focus on a few more defenses before pursuing a fight with the double champion.
There's one guy out there that's talking a lot of shit, and his name is Ilia Topuria. Is there any chance of that, Ali?
But brother, at the end of the day, you know, honestly, like, I don't understand this guy. Like, he's just, my opinion, just be yourself. Like, just, you have to be yourself. Like, you know, and I think, you know, I met this guy before. He's like a decent guy, honestly. Like, he's like nice, but in a way, like, we get this thing from him, like, you know, you went there, you haven't even defended your title once. You understand? Islam defended 4 times. You know, have a couple of fights. Islam will fight him. It's no problem. But in a way, why Islam? What Islam have benefit of beating Ilia Topuria, right?
Kamaru Usman considers Islam Makhachev one of the hardest fighters to face because his skills are nearly flawless. He compares the pressure of fighting Islam to what he felt against Colby Covington. Usman explains that opponents like Islam push a fighter to their absolute limits. After seeing Islam's latest performance, he views him as one of the most complete and competitive fighters in the sport today.
I'm not here to glaze it in any way, form, or fashion, but I say it's the most competitive because when I look at a guy like Islam, I don't really see holes like that. And that's something that scares me, that causes that heartbeat to go up. And that's where you see some of the most spectacular performance. Because the last time I felt that like that was Colby Covington won. And that's when I was like, yo, you got a guy that can wrestle just as good as you, a guy that can grapple just as good, a guy that can maybe not strike it, but a guy that can strike just as well. You have a guy that's good at all these things. How do you get that victory? And that's where you live. That's where you get that you know, your spirit just is in there to just fight it out. And so I would say yes, if you're talking about which fight right now is probably the most competitive. And listen, Islam is great. He's great. Especially what he did last night. Islam is great. You can't take anything away from him.
Kamaru Usman was also impressed by Islam Makhachev's performance against JDM, pointing out that he maintained control for nearly the entire fight. Islam stayed ahead of Jack's attempts to scramble or escape, keeping him on the defensive. Usman compared this level of dominance to his own fights, emphasizing how consistently commanding Islam was throughout the match.
I thought either JDM somehow really has closed those gaps on the holes that he has to where he's able to step forward and start to do damage, or Islam was going to do what I thought he was going to do. That's get him down, and when you get some of these guys down, you're able to float. Like we wrestle, we're able to float on these guys. We're able to just kind of be a step ahead of them in them trying to maneuver and create a scramble to get back to their feet. And that's what Islam did. I mean, come on, 19 minutes of control time. I mean, the only other really right now in the top in that
how long it was? Was it 19 minutes?
Yes.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Christ.
The only other time I've seen that long right now in that welterweight division with these top guys is I would say my fight versus Buckley.
Meanwhile, Matt Brown felt that Jack Della Maddalena's corner made the situation harder for him after his loss to Islam Makhachev at UFC 322. He thought the coaches kept trying to pump him up, even though Jack was already giving everything in the fight. Brown believed it would have been better for the corner to encourage him to stay calm and focused instead of pushing him harder, as Jack was already fighting at his maximum effort.
I know cornering, you can blow it out of proportionally how much advice you're going to get in that like 1 minute period, but like I know you mentioned that, like what are his coaches doing?
Yeah, it seemed very odd to me, like they were just trying to fire him up the whole time. And I was like, bro, he can be fired up as he wants. Like if he doesn't start doing something different, it's not gonna help. Like he's fighting hard as hell, right? Like, I mean, he's grimacing the whole time. Like he's squeezing hard as he can, you know, fighting against those submissions hard as he can. Like the guy is giving it his all. Like telling him to give it more is not gonna help a single thing. if anything, tell him to relax a little bit. And
Fedor Emelianenko also praised Islam Makhachev's welterweight debut and rise to double champion, saying Jack Della Maddalena struggled to find any way to fight back. Fedor highlighted that Islam dictated every moment, putting Jack in positions where he couldn't respond. He added that JDM seemed either unwilling or unable to engage, and credited Islam's complete control and mastery for keeping him helpless throughout the fight.
Мне понравилось, что Ислам создал такие условия, что соперник было впечатление, что он не хочет драться. То есть он ничего не может ему противопоставить. То есть он его полностью контролировал и, ну, создавалось впечатление, что он просто, ну, беспомощный такой в тех положениях, которые Ислам создавал. Вот, и, ну, вот, как будто он не хотел драться просто. Ну, не мог драться и не хотел. Ну, это, конечно, заслуга Ислама.
Luke Thomas highlights Islam Makhachev's fight preparation as top-notch. He emphasizes that while coaches like Craig Jones can offer advice, nothing replaces years of wrestling and grappling experience. Thomas notes that Islam's extensive grappling skills make a huge impact, proving that long-term training matters more than quick coaching fixes.
So the first thing I want to say was Islam came super well prepared. Super well prepared. But the more important part was that, dude, Islam made a point during fight week when they asked him about, like, hey, what about the Craig Jones influence? And again, I love Craig and I think his influence is real. And to the extent that JDM was in this at all, I think is in large part a credit to Craig. But one thing he did say that I also think in Islam's defense, he obviously proved to be quite right, which was, yeah, listen, you can bring a guy like that in and they can help you, but that's not the same as a lifetime of wrestling. It's not the same as a lifetime of grappling. It's just not the same. Like, the amount of things you're going to know and the amount of ways you're going to be able to make that work is just so significantly different. And that was that's true more broadly, and that was absolutely true.
Luke Thomas emphasizes Islam Makhachev's sharp instinct and deep sense of positioning. He points out that Islam's skill in countering attacks comes not only from training, but also from a natural understanding of grappling. Thomas adds that combining this intuition with focused fight preparation lets Islam react fast, stay in control, and shut down opponents' moves, making it very hard for anyone to gain an advantage against him.
Islam's got this insane depth of feel, not just knowledge, but a feel of positions, such that, yes, was he prepared for some of these particular attacks? Yes. But the reason why he was so able to nimbly defeat them is also because they took specific preparation for what they were going to face and married that with his natural understanding of the feel for these positions, what makes them work, what makes them not work, and how to react very quickly to reconstitute it or reconsolidate top position. So he throws Islam, but Islam maintains that tight whizzer, hip to hip, hips facing the mat, and then runs back, and so it just doesn't work.
On the other hand, Ian Gary is also among the strong contenders for the welterweight belt. Ian Gary claims that a win over Belal Muhammad at UFC Qatar would make him impossible to ignore for a title shot. Gary is confident that if he finishes Belal on Saturday, he will firmly establish himself as one of the best in the world and next in line for a title fight.
No, obviously when the lay of the land was laid out for everyone and we knew Prates was going to fight Leon and Brady and Morales and then Islam and Jack and me and Belal, you've got the 8 best welterweights on the planet competing within 7 days of each other. Obviously, the champion was decided. It's now Islam Makhachev. But for the other 6 competitors, it's completely irrelevant until my fight takes place. I've beaten Prates. When I knock out Belal Muhammad on Saturday night, I'm going to absolutely cement myself as the number 1 contender in the world and next to my and that's it.
Even before UFC 322, Ian Gary made it clear that his only mission was to stop Belal Muhammad and leave no doubt about where he stands in the division. He said the belt holder doesn't matter to him because he expects to meet Jack and Islam down the line anyway. Gary spoke with confidence, saying his climb to the top can't be prevented and that fans will soon see why he believes his time as champion is coming.
I'm going to finish Belal Muhammad. That's my goal. That is my single one focus of this fight, is I want to go out there and leave it unquestionable that I am the single greatest welterweight walk on the planet, because they're going to be able to compare us over the last 7 days, right? From November 22nd to November 16th. They're going to be able to compare us all. I want everyone to say that I look the best. And whoever wins that belt, Jack or Islam, I don't mind. I really don't have any preference. I'm going to fight both of them eventually, I believe, because I believe both of them are going to be up and around the top of the division for a long time. I am going to fight them wherever, whenever, and I will punch a hole in their head because there is nobody in this planet stopping me from getting that belt wrapped around my waist. We are this close, Ariel, to succeeding in that takeover part 2. I told the entire UFC fan base on the mic, I'm the future. I am inevitable. And I'm this close to proof.
Ian Gary said that beating Belal Muhammad should put him next in line for a title shot, especially since Belal already stopped Sean Brady and controlled Leon Edwards. Gary added that if he can finish a former champion and top contender quicker than JDM managed to, it would make his case for a world title fight impossible to ignore.
Because as I said, Belal has knocked out number 2 in Sean Brady, and he has smashed number 3 in Leon Edwards. So when you smoke Belal, it's obvious what comes next. Now, if I go out there and do that to Sean Brady, someone can have that argument, oh, but you haven't beat this guy, and someone else, and I didn't want any of that. So for me, it actually works out better, Ariel. I'm not going to lie.
Okay. Have you been told, though, you beat Belal, you're next?
When you knock out number 1 in the world, there is nothing else. When you knock out a former champion and who's number 1 in the world right now, and you smash him in less rounds than JDM could, then that's all that matters to me. I know I'm getting a world title fight after this.
That's a wrap for today's video. Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe, and don't forget to check out our other videos on the screen right now.